In the bottom right, in the yellow, from Germany, the underdog here, proclaiming that if he wins this one, he will soon switch to Undead. Playing Night Elves now is Spiral. And the top right, the man we all know, the man we always see winning everything. He is the Emperor. He is the undisputed, undefeated Master from Moscow is Happy. All right, so off we go.
The usual perfect scouts here, where he sees the first camp that's being done. I'm curious whether he's gonna choose to be aggressive immediately or to creep a little bit. I love the evolution of Happy, by the way. Like, for the longest time, I still feel like we need to repeat that because it feels like for such a long time he was known as this guy that everybody was saying was always playing the same, you know, DK Fiends, blah blah blah, all the same timings, exact same build order. And nowadays, he has such a variety of build orders and strategies. It's kind of crazy to see him like pull everything off seemingly flawlessly, but the evolution of his base as well, where he started doing a ziggurat forward a lot more in order to morph that and better defend his entire base.
Yeah, exactly. This has only been visible for like a couple of weeks now, right? At most a month or two. It makes so much sense. Usually it's always good to have a narrow tower in front of your base. You only really don't want to do it if it's a risk of it being lost. And against Night Elf, there's no risk really because it takes forever until bears come out and only they can really take out those towers. What we also saw was the first archer getting taken out, getting ensnared by the creeps, couldn't save it, Acolyte falls for it, but that's certainly a good trade for Happy. Already quickly on his way to level 2. There he gets it, and with that, the all-round, he's starting off this map, leveling faster than the Keeper, and that is never what you want to see as the Night Elf.
Oh, that's a full surround, Happy.
Oh my god!
And he's gonna save everything as well in the process. That one goal definitely not going down Spiral with this disastrous start here, because getting that archer ensnared at the expo is also not supposed to happen at all, and that only happened because the map is fairly new and this is a different pull than on most maps. You have to be really careful. Just shoot one of the creeps from max range and start running away immediately, because otherwise if you get ensnared, that unit is dead. That was the one fighting unit of Spiral at the time. Now he's made 2 more archers, but Happy, probably very content with his start here. He's pressing forward with a lot of ghouls here, and he's looking for more kills.
Yeah. Quite dominant so far. You know, Todd, I learned from you that in the UFC there's some fighters who are kind of slow out the gate and they take a while to really warm up and, you know, show their best. Happy not looking like that today. Coming out swinging like McGregor when he still was a bit better. Trio 5 is also getting found. And, oh my god, if that gets cancelled. And it does get cancelled. Jesus Christ. Happy loses 2 ghouls for this, but so easily worth it.
McGregor usually falls off pretty quickly. He's known as like a one run and a half fighter. So hopefully Happy doesn't fall off the same and stay strong throughout. He's known for that at least. He's got good cardio. He's got good WarCraft 3 cardio, Remo.
Yeah, we see it all the time in the cups that he tends to win pretty much every single one of them. Today he's only going to have to play 1 best of 3, and this game, if this game keeps going this direction, map 1 may not even take too long. You think Happy would be a southpaw?
I think so, yeah.
Is there like some kind of weird fighter psychology, like, you know, like some sort of astrology, I almost want to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, do southpaws have a certain kind of personality that at least people say they do?
I don't know about that, but yeah, it's very different to fight somebody orthodox or southpaw, and like sometimes some fighters will even change their stance because they're not confident. We don't need to talk about the game because the game's over.
Because he got surrounded a second time.
The game's almost 3.
Second surround attempt, second time he locks it in.
The player's forces are under attack.
This is a rough one, dude. I have played against Happy many times on ladder before, so I know this feeling all too well. And yeah, this can quickly happen. You make 1 mistake or 2, and Happy is gonna... Happy punishes you, I feel like, more than anybody else you've ever experienced. Like, you make a few mistakes, and he's just there with a knife, and then he's gonna cut your throat.
Going for these archers now. Shadow Mail won't help, he has dust. And even if there are Moonwells, like ghouls do a lot of damage to archers. He's just trying to push them away to where Moonwells are not even going to be nearby anymore. Demon Hunter about to come out. Spiral, you know, He's still giving it his best shot. But behind this, we see Lich in production. Happy will certainly start tier 3 very soon. And Death Knight is 1 kill away from level 3, looks like.
And the Keeper was stuck behind the Demon. He denied the Ghoul with the other Ghoul. Come on, dude. Only thing here, a little bit lackluster, if you want to call it that, is Happy's tag wasn't too fast. I guess his lumber was a bit low. Another cancel. Escapes with 5 hurt Ghouls. About to hit level 3. This is the nastiest smackdown we've seen so far this season.
Well, in DreamHack, yeah. But I think 15 seconds ago is when I lost to Happy 2 Open Cups ago. So Spiral definitely outlasted me. Good job, mates.
It shows up as well. He's got some bonus attack speed here on Chonamoth. That's a weird name. Gets 1 archer kill. That's level 3. Tempting to go Aura here with having no mana, but I guess...
Oh,
he's
the
gonna
Enchanter for the
restore that
Expo? You went too close to the crypt. Flew a little too close to the sun, Rima.
Icarus. Is he gonna get burned by these creeps here? He might. They do have Inner Fire after all. And you mentioned it, right? This is a new map. You have to really, especially as Night Elf, you have to know exactly how deep you can go with the Ancient of War, where you have to place them, what the Ensnare range is, and Spiral here, perhaps not too familiar with this one yet. Demon Hunter II is a very strong option. Can be, especially in the late game, for mana burn, obviously. But he does need levels. Very, very badly. If you don't get him to level 3 by the time the first fight rolls around, you're in trouble, as if he wasn't in enough trouble already.
Can we talk about Happy's camera, by the way? Like, how do you get that angle? It looks like he's playing this game on like a, what is it called? Arcades box, you know? With like the joystick and like the 3 buttons.
You think he's standing on one of those DDR mats and he's dancing at the same time? Dance, dance, revolution. I would love to go with Happy to a club one day, but every time we were in China and we asked him to go out and drink and stuff, he unfortunately declined. Even when he won WGL, he was not much in a partying mood. He was smiling ear to ear. That was cool to see. He was honestly in a very good mood, but not good enough to
go out with a degenerate like you.
Yeah, I mean, I I can't really blame him. Let's be honest, but he was worried about his trophy. He kept asking multiple times, the admin and stuff, how am I gonna get my trophy home? And they said, I think they were gonna. No wait, he didn't want to have. He didn't want to have it sent. He wanted to take it in his own suitcase, and I think he did. And
was it big or?
Was I mean, not as big as that like the Champions League Cup or something, but it was a good size, like 1.5 cereal boxes or something.
Usually, you can take these on the plane with you. Like, as long as it's not, yeah, you can. As long as it's not like massive, like they'll see it, they'll be like, oh, where'd you get this from? And you tell them like you want something, whatever, and then it's fine. Like,
I guess in carry-on it might be a problem, but in your normal luggage should be fine.
No, I meant on carry-on.
Yeah, that might be alright.
I've done it before, believe it or not. I've won a couple tournaments.
And we all were very impressed.
So much so you don't even remember. Feels bad, man. It's okay. You don't need to lie.
I'm a late bloomer, dude. I wasn't there in the earlier days. Plus, I have some of the worst memory you've seen in your lifetime. So, Happy is going for the expansion here, 50 supply. He's been kind of bouncing back and forth between the strategic option against Foggy for a long time. Remember, last DreamHack season in fall, he counter-expanded all the time. And then after that season, he used to play all-in pushes all the time. So it was really hard to pin him down to see what his late-game strategy was. Now he's going for the counter-expo once again, or in this case, I guess it's a proactive expansion. To be fair, in this game, he could go mass worms and still win. So here it's not too relevant. But yeah, Foggy will be paying close attention to what is being played here by Happy.
Yeah, Spiral, the struggle is real here. Like, I don't think he can even consider expanding at all. Demon's so far away from level 3. Happy's Lich is way closer to level 3 than the Demon is. And actually, speaking of level 3, these archers are going to provide just that here.
Happy, by the way, noticeably skipping the third hero. That is some bonus resources you get for things like an expansion, which now is coming up. Oh, struggle city for Spiral.
And statue is on mana all the time, by the way. Insup, if you're watching. You know what to do. Dude, I tried to coach Insup live recently. He keeps putting his statue on heal when he has like almost everything full HP. I'm like, what are you doing? They should only be on mana until you have full mana on everything.
Yeah, I've seen also Insup puts statue and destroyer in the same group, which may not be ideal. Happy does that as well, but Happy uses the sub group key modifier thing, so you can with control or whatever.
But his statues never attack, right?
So, no, sometimes they do, but
really?
not always. Yeah. I think when you right
play
click
better than he does now.
when you right click with statues, they still heal every now and then, you know, but when you A click they don't or something like that. I don't know. I'm a sophisticated individual, okay? I have destroyers and statues in two separate groups, all right?
Yeah. Shouldn't your destroyers be with your main army anyway? Because usually they attack the same thing. Unless you want to put destroyers on bears and then fiends on dryads. Which is kind of what you want to do, actually.
Yeah, pretty often you want to have the magic damage attacking something else. Plus, it's nice to have quick access with just one tap for the instant dispel, and you want to... Oftentimes you have to move the destroyers. You know, I've tried for years to become good at destroyer micro. I have not so far succeeded, but Happy certainly has. He's pushing forward.
We all have our flaws, Primo. Death Note is still trying to land a single dispel whenever he wants it.
He hasn't been playing though lately. He's playing something else. What is he playing again? I think he's playing StarCraft or something, right?
I don't. Maybe he's waiting for one of his dispels to go off to come back. Still is stuck in the same game in the same time. Oh, the demon! Sat home and was there on his own.
Oh my god, he's so fast with these surrounds.
Oh, they both got
can't give him a second. Yeah. For Spiral, honestly, this is not too useful. Like, it's overkill on the Dryads and the Demon, so it only helps on the Keeper, and his spells can get dispelled anyways. So this is clearly much better for Happy. Like, everything in this game is much better for Happy.
Spiral's not making a single bear. He's like, alright, I've made bears, I've seen what Death Throws do to them, this is gonna be only Dryad for me. But then that means he also doesn't have Rejuve. And the orbs on the Keeper, interestingly, not on the Demon.
I think it was interesting what Spiral said yesterday in his interview, saying that his main goal here is not to win. Winning would be nice, but one should be realistic upon occasion. He said his goal here will be to preserve his mental state, meaning not get too frustrated if he loses, which is kind of sad, but also, honestly, I respect it for being, you know, fairly realistic and pragmatic.
Yeah. That's also my mindset when I play matches, you know, against certain players like Happy, but by the end of the match, I still have the, you know, the red nose, the wig, and the face makeup on, so...
Yeah, I mean, clowns, on our broadcast, we have some experience with that. Spiral moving forward against the Expo. Desperate attempt, we have one tower here. On Blight, this is the best fight Happy possibly could take.
Undead with expansion and Night Elf pressuring. This is upside down here, it feels like. Spiral trying to land that double staff here momentarily. But there is a mana pot on the DK. Happy is so good at timing that perfectly, by the way. Like, he'll wait until Demon is like half HP or has like a third of hit points, and then mana potion, coils, target, boom. And that may be about to happen here.
Even throwing some frost armor on the ghouls just to slow down the demon a bit. Happy always manually micros his ghouls. He has them in the group with the fiends most of the time, but when they're in range, he pulls them back. He knows if they're too far forward, the Dryads can pick him off easily. That's one way, I guess, for Spiral to come back, pick off the ghouls, get lots of kills, deny on the one ghoul that was about to die. Alright, it's starting to get a bit ridiculous here.
How many units has Spiral has actually killed? I mean, no creeps off Happy this game. That's a very good question here. Probably not, I mean, it's not double digits. I mean, speaking of single digits that he was talking about, he really hasn't killed much here.
Yeah, and it's only been ghouls so far, nothing else. Fiend illusions, I guess, if you want to be generous. And Happy. I wonder if this is going to be an indication of his game plan in this matchup in general, playing more dual hero once again. The problem in an even game, you know, when the Keeper expands and mass Dryads and huge Night Elf army and lots of pressure, lots of upgrades, you know, what we see from Foggy all the time. The problem is, Undead would like to play triple hero, but Undead doesn't really have a good third hero. The best two options are Naga and Tinker, and both are pretty bad, honestly. So Happy might be returning to dual hero again only. Can be very good for the high level nuke. However, of course, that's where the demon comes in as well. With the mana burn. He does feel that nuke though. Getting staffed out.
They are bad in this scenario, right? Like if he has Expo and the opponent maybe does or doesn't. But if he was the one-on-one base pushing, then a third hero can be really good. Either the Naga or the Tinker. And Happy's expanding again. It's like, you remember how Twisted Meadows was Wound's map? Well, this is my map.
A hero kill here would seal the deal, but the staff must be reserved. Ooh, that was close.
He doesn't have Wellspring. You know, today I learned you can know if there is Wellspring by checking the mana on the Moonwells.
Wait a minute, are you kidding me?
No.
You didn't know they had more capacity?
No. Oh, no, I know they had more capacity, but I didn't know that you can check without having like the upgrade showing somewhere. Like the Moonwells gain, you know, 125 mana extra.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean by capacity.
Yeah, so I knew that you can upgrade that, but I didn't know that you can check and see. Now I do.
Yeah, I think you can even use one of Mana Steal on them, actually. But that seems fairly inefficient. Alright, one last stand, maybe. Happy attacking into the main base. These Dryads dying fairly quick. They do have one armor upgrade at least, but the Fiends still tend to cut through them. Happy is finally losing some units here. Alrighty.
What is he doing?
But he's got more than enough left. He's got basically the perfect army. 2 statues, 2 destroyers, 1 A-bomb, and a whole bunch of Fiends. And strong heroes, of course.
I mean, Spiral killed more units here than most people will in multiple games against Happy, so we can be proud of that. But still, Happy ran the show the whole time, and that game plan of picking Shallow Graves didn't quite work out for Spiral.
Yeah, everybody comes in with a game plan and then you get punched in the face, I guess. Spiral got a beating in the beginning. Like, prior to the little lag pause, that was just pure dominance, pure punishment, even a little masochistic to stay in this game. Yeah. That was just the perfect start for Happy and the absolute worst that could have happened to Spiral. I think he recovered quite well later, given the fact that he was up against one or in the end 2 additional bases of Happy for a long time. So hopefully he recovered a little mentally, isn't too disappointed with him, because Happy lost 3 Fiends in the last fight there.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Did he really?
He did.
Is he
slumping? He's officially in a slump.
I think so too. Or maybe he was playing with one hand at that time, I don't know, but boy, was that a domination again.
Yeah, we see it time and time again on the top level of WarCraft. Your early game has to go well, or at least all right. It can't be a disaster. If it is, the game's over already. Happy could have finished this game way sooner, but why do it? There's no need to. No long day for him here in this tournament by any means today. Shallow Grave, by the way, you know, first time we see it here. You always, at the beginning, it's hard to tell who those maps might be favoring. Especially Creep Route for early game development is a very crucial point on every map. And thinking about it, this seems like a pretty good map for Undead in this matchup, because the Keeper, yeah, gets the first camp with the Ancient of War, but just getting one more camp to get that level 2 for Entangle might be pretty tough if the DK comes across quickly as he can to steal last hits with the coil. Happy, of course, also there did a really good job preventing the lightning shield. That's actually a really big deal and something that's a bit wonky, apparently, on Shallow Grave. And yeah, it's all about those level up timings. That Keeper is not a happy man if he stays on level 1 and 2 for too long.
Oh no, that's for sure. I think it was Lawlight in the War 3 Champions Finals who has played a Warden here, but maybe that needs some more elaborated creep routes on a map like this. I mean, everybody compares this map to an updated version of Terraner Stand, a more balanced version of Terraner Stand? And what would be more fitting than seeing a Warden somehow?
Yeah, Warden can work out in the right scenario. As you know from me, I still don't believe in her against Undead at all, but against Human, maybe. Who knows? Could be in the future. But yeah, that map is now behind us. Our second map. And Spiral's attempt to come back will be Tidehunters.
Yeah, let's hope for a better start for the Raptor Gaming player from Germany. He's down a map facing the lower bracket, and Happy is just one map away from yet another playoff participation.
I think map 1 was a very good showcase of how important a well-developed creep route is. You need to make sure you get your level up timings quickly and then can move on into the early game, through the early game in decent position towards the mid game. Happy is oftentimes quite passive and focuses on creeping a lot. I feel like against Orc that it can be his downfall, especially against Blade Master, Orc styles. But against Night Elf, he seems to have mastered it so well. The balancing act between creeping, picking up items, and harassing, sometimes even doing both at the same time. The level of play that Happy has reached against Night Elf is nothing short of amazing. And yeah, Foggy can get close to him. But in Europe, it seems like nobody else can. But Spiral, he shall try it again.
I mean, Foggy is even considered to be one of the better Night Elves against Undead in the world. Even Moon has said, like, you know, that he drew inspiration from him. So it's like, if Foggy can't do it, usually it's between Lawlight, Colorful, or Moon. Lawlight has lost the last few times that they played, except the once. Moon against Happy doesn't really happen, and Colorful on ladder has a terrible record against Happy, but it's, of course, he has a big disadvantage with the host, but his record is just terrible. I don't know if you saw, but I think Happy is like around 40 wins and like 4 or 5 losses, which, to be honest, is not that bad a ratio to have against Happy, better than almost everybody else. But for a world champ like Colorful, you would expect it to maybe be a little bit closer.
One of the more impressive wins of a Night Elf recently was Lawlight playing the ESL Open Cup Europe, beating Happy in the quarterfinals, semifinals, something like that, with a 2-1, which was really impressive and it was very much unlike the normal Foggy style. It was much more one-base tempo focused, heavily relying on perfect micro, which is where Lawlight shines, especially against Undead in my opinion, and not what Foggy usually depends on so much. It's rather the expo timings and the harass and the economy that pulls him through. Happy with a really weird creep out. Look at that. He runs across the entire map to steal the enemy natural away. Also with the intention of perhaps arriving here in time to harass the Keeper should he be creeping here. But if the Keeper isn't here, then he just creeps it for himself. Keeper crept the green instead, got some good items, and now running across the map to harass.
I'm assuming he's gonna leave 1 or 2 creeps though, because you don't want to clear that entirely and then Elf just somehow luckily sends a wisp at that time and then starts a tree that can complete easily on location without you seeing it. So curious whether he's gonna leave that last Murgle Tide Warrior. He's still attacking it.
Oh, the Keeper looking for the kill.
I
think he should get it. Yeah, Happy has to cancel the tech. There we go.
This is not good for Happy here. Tech's gonna be really delayed. Spiral is like, what, 40% with his? Setting up to creep another camp towards the center. I mean, he has only the archers there for now. But much better starts than on Shadowgrave, where he lost his first archer very sloppily.
And it's a slight mistake as well by Happy. He runs back with the DK and didn't get the telestaff. Now, he might still get it, but he could have gotten it already. Staff back, force the Keeper back faster, start the tech faster. So, some slight errors being seen by Happy, and Spiral with a nice little start into this early game. However, now the TP is gone, so you really don't want to get surrounded again.
I'm a bit surprised that Spiral didn't try to use the Cloak of Shadows to at least force dust being bought. Like, it's not the most gold, 75, but always nice if you can at least have that happen. And Happy, he's going for the lab creep here, looking to try and score a big item. early on in this game and gained a lot of experience from that. There's so many small camps on this map that it's still very easy to get level 3. Like, I think initially he was gonna go with the ghouls either for the expansion on their own or the small orange above his base, which he still very easily could do after this lab here.
Skelly Scout over to the expansion. Sees no Tree of Life there yet. It is built proxy and shall be finished in a moment. So is Tier 2, so is the Hunter's Hall. Clean game. Good start for Spiral. Polar opposite of map 1.
Yeah, let's see what he can make of it. I wonder if his plan was to expand at all in game 1 and if he didn't because of the circumstances. But here he's definitely expanding here with that tree now finished and ready to go to the expo.
Players' forces are
He
under
needs to remember that he lost Downfall, by the way. Like, it's so easy in this kind of game to just kind of lose track of these things because it's so hectic and there's so much happening. And then you get your hero caught at the worst time in the worst position and you lose it.
TK now level 3, looking for some juicy archer kills perhaps, or maybe some wisps. Sees the Tree of Life. That one is a bit too beefy, a bit too barky to take out.
The players' forces are under attack.
Happy wants to get his Lich and then look for some more kills. He knows the Demon Hunter will be coming out and then will be trying to creep with the archers. Ancient of War already in position on the high ground. This is very predictable, so Happy could certainly try to harass this one.
Yeah, I guess True Shot is not that important and good at all early on, but the more range units he gets later on, because eventually he's supposed to go into more fiends. Happy not moving. Look at his ghouls back at home. They're having a meeting around that one. Yeah, okay, that was a little bit unconventional for Happy to make this kind of mistakes. But yeah, Spiral is kicking into full gear here. By Shredder, creeping the whole lab. He gets Lionhorn. And honestly, he's playing really well that game number 2. Maybe game 1 he's just used as a warm-up. Yes, he could have left early, but sometimes, you know, like, even if you've warmed up for a match, you're having a couple misclicks here and there. He's gonna force a staff here. Happy able to get out. Maybe the Entangle could have been a little bit better. But yeah, sometimes, I had that last night, actually. I was a little bit tired, but I was like, I'll play some games. I wanted to qualify for a WC Champions tournament, so I started searching. And I kept having misclicks. It was driving me crazy. I was like, what am I doing? Like, you know, I wasn't well warmed up or anything. And maybe Spiral used that game 1 to do that. Like, he knew he was not going to win all along, but he played for 15 minutes, kind of, you know, got his hands warmed up, hit a couple staff here and there. And now he's definitely warmed up in that game, and let me tell you, he's doing great.
Having misclicks, that is my default ladder experience. I wouldn't even know what it's like to play without these. Must be nice. DK shocking around, looking for another kill. If you want to be really critical, by the way, I think Happy also could have played this DK harass a bit better. He was running after the Tree of Life, putting in some hits with 4 Skellies and a Death Knight. There's no way that's ever going to kill anything. So I think the better play would have been to scout around where the Demon Hunter is going and to harass him, especially if he's going for a big camp, which he was. He went there after a while, but it was a bit too late. So Happy not really making big mistakes this game, but could be making some plays better, I do feel. But this game, of course, is far from over yet. Happy's biggest strength is still always the late game when he manages these big armies absolutely perfectly. Better than anyone else. But Spiral is a good position. The question is, how well can he transition into the late game? Because the difficulty for Night Elf on the top level oftentimes can be the perfect transition in the late game. How many drives are you gonna make? When are you going to expand? Perhaps a second time? When are you going to go tier 3? What units are you going to make? When are you going to pump your upgrades? And that's where experience comes in.
Yeah, last game it was very straightforward for Happy, you know, like he was always going to expand and then he was just so far ahead. Whereas this game, the big choice is, does he commit to some sort of one-base push or does he expand himself? We've seen him expand a lot for a while, but you mentioned it, sometimes he went back to pushing the opponent's expansion. Maybe he just basically tries to gauge during the game what's the best option. Maybe he doesn't have like one preset heading into the game. Like right now he's thinking, okay, what would be the best? What are my items? What are my strengths right now? Do I have enough supply? So he's getting the 3rd Fiend. Obviously you never want to push before you have Destroyers against Keeper. It might also try and react to whether or not there is tier 3 on the way, right? Because if there is Bears, then it means Elf has 2 less units maybe in Dryads. If there's pure Dryads, it means he's committing to tier 2, and then maybe it's just better to expand as the Undead.
Yeah, this is also where things get really dicey for the Night Elf. If the Undead is expanding, you can try to all in with Dryads. Just stay tier 2, mass upgrades, mass Dryads. Don't go tier 3 at all. Just go in 70 A supply Dryads. But if the Undead holds that, you have instantly lost. You can try to go tier 3 against it as well, but then you give the Undead sort of a free expo. So it's very delicate, transition-wise, for the Night Elf to get the perfect answer to if the Undead is expanding. If the Undead is attacking, it's very easy. You just spam Dryads and you defend. But if the Undead is expanding, things get a little bit more hard to gauge.
Happy sells Ring and Dust. He's about to buy the orb for the Lich.
A player's forces are under attack.
And he's getting an extra Acolyte, so I think I got my answer here. He's going to take the base probably in the bottom left. Maybe a little bit harder to attack. Kind of inside of a dead end, right? If you step there, you better mean it, because you're going to have to fight for that position a lot of the time. Yeah, there it is. Orb on the Lich. Pretty strong army. Spiral, no sign of tier 3. He's just spamming Dryads right now. He's just hitting 1-1 in upgrades.
And he saw the Pendant. The Demon Hunter was standing invis there. Pendant useless for him, but would have been great for Happy. So nice steal right there. Demon Hunter getting Nova, but can't attack him. He's too tanky, especially with his 2 potions that he has. DK running in deep. Spiral with a wonderful concave. Good splitting. Of course, you have to kite right here as much as you can. The Lich is protected by an invul potion. Some archers are going down, but also the ghouls are falling. This is exactly what you want to do. You want to target the ghouls one by one, not A-click. If you A-click, everything takes damage, and then the statue heal does too much. We now see a Destroyer finally. Happy has to hold right here to make sure his expansion comes up after this. It's hard to tell right now who's going to take this fight. The statue is, of course, doing a tremendous job.
Yeah, Spiral still with some great inventories, by the way. Demon has Invuln, Health Pots, Scroll of Healing, Keeper, Staff of Preservation loaded up. I'm a little bit surprised that he's not burning the statue a little more, but he really prioritized those heroes. And the pendants, actually, like you said, useless for him, but that demon is just never gonna run out of mana in the fights here. He can just mana burn endlessly for so long. Another great dispel here by Happy. Can he make it out with that Fiend? It's gonna be close. Demon coming in. The Rubian Tower. Oh! And the Dryad with the last little spare gets that Fiend. Happy on 29 supply against 69. It's your favorite number, isn't it?
Pretty nice. And the Dryad gets away. Spiral playing out of his mind. Absolutely terrific game by him. This is the best chance he has ever had against Happy. Against every other undead, this game would be over. Oh, there's 6 Dryads over there. Those would have helped.
Spell's playing amazing. I can't believe this. A cheeky little miss rally, you know, happens to the best of us. He's not realizing, though. That's okay. There it is. That's what's scary. It's probably like, oh my god, if I had these.
And now it's a face palm. And he's like, oh my god. On the DreamHack stream. God damn it.
Everybody's. I hope they didn't see it. Well, we saw it, Spiral.
Todd had his eyes right on the money. Demon Hunter forced into the heal potion, and it just seems like Spiral has a bit too much. Spiral is, by the way, also taking tier 3 behind this. Absolutely enormous lead for the Night Elf. Takes out the A-bomb as well with the focus fire. Goes down pretty quick. Didn't have Disease Cloud, didn't spread the stink. And this is looking more and more like a 1-1.
Yeah, Happy doing a very good job holding on, but yeah, Demon still has an invuln, still has double staff ready here. In case of trouble, finger on the trigger, uses the invuln first instead of double staffing. He wanted to stay a little bit longer for the damage, maybe for one last mana burn as well. And that's it with game number 2. Spiral actually lands the equalizer.
Damn.
Who would have thought that, everybody? What a comeback that was. After being dumpstered in the beginning of Shallow Grave, this was one of the best non-foggy Night Elf versus Happy games I've seen in the past 12 months. Especially at DreamHack. And that was so clean, right? Right from the start. Creep route a lot better. And especially this harass. Like, Happy had to cancel the tech at around, like, this threw him back 75%, 80%. It was so late. Everything was so late. And I really like that Spiral never really forced the issue too much, didn't get nervous. I mean, of course, the missed rally on the Dryads, whatever. Apart from that, he never stayed too long in the fights, and he had so many consumables so early on, and this is becoming more and more key in this matchup. Spiral just got it all ready. Perfect game plan, very good execution, and all of a sudden, Happy seems vulnerable, and Happy is facing the lower bracket.
Yeah, very nice done by Spiral. However, that win goes 95% to the Keeper finding these Acolyte kills. That is not going to happen again, so Spiral needs to find another answer for Game 3, where Happy's scouting will be more on point. The DK movement, pretty weird in the beginning, that exposed him to this Keeper. He wasn't scouting for the Keeper movement, so nice play to Spiral, but yeah, this will not happen again.
All right, then we will have the decision on Concealed Hill, everybody, after a tiny little break. Well, when do we ever see the Emperor drop maps in the group stage? Well, here today, October 8th, Spiral taking Tidehunters, and his goal was to not lose all momentum, and that is definitely true here. I mean, he can be very happy with the outcome, but can he go even further?
I like how you mentioned the date as well. I feel like if Spiral wins here, this has to become a national German holiday. We don't have enough of those around.
It's true, man. Especially here in Hamburg, we have to come up with new national holidays because the South has way more. So having October 3rd off and October 8th, I wouldn't mind.
And Spiral, if he wins here, he promised after DreamHack he's gonna switch to Undead for a while. This might be a destiny in the making. Can he do it again? Can he get as far ahead again? That might be necessary to win this series.
Happy under pressure. Rare occasion. I think when he looks back at the first 5 minutes of this series, he would never thought that he has to play a little longer, that he has to play an extra map here. But Tidehunters wasn't as clean as we're used to, was overwhelmed by the Keeper of the Grove. So, Spiral, can you do it again? The deciding map is Concealed Hill.
Happy should definitely have an easier time here in this early game with creeping himself and with harassing. The thing that really broke his neck here on Tidehunters on map 2 was the fact that first of all he didn't scout so well for the Keeper, and secondly, to play it, what's the word? Ambitious against the Keeper, you want to try to, like he did, run across the map, because if you don't run across the map, the Keeper can creep orange into natural right away and then easily expand soon after. That is certainly not the case here. This is one of the hardest expansions in the map pool. It's going to require a lot of firepower to take this one out, not just one Keeper and an Archer. So the DK here is going to have a much tougher time in terms of his movement. He can creep the first camp with ghouls if he wants, or not, and then go harass right away. He can also harass instantly. And this is the map where Happy pioneered his backpack creeping. The DK goes harass, slows down the Keeper by a ton, and the ghouls creep simultaneously. This takes some multitasking that Happy certainly has, and with that, he has looked very terrifying on this map.
I find it fascinating how sometimes map number 1 is no indicator at all how a series is going to go. Going back to WCG finals, I think it was 2011 or something in China, in Chengdu. Infi against Fly, game number 1 on Echo Isle, Fly just creepjacks him on the Mer camp, kills literally every single creep there is, and just wins the game instantly after like 3 minutes. And then everybody's like, oh god, this is going to be a terrible finals. And then Infi has this crazy comeback where he just ends up winning the whole thing. Yeah, sometimes. Turns out map number 1 does not mean so much. Every map is played individually, one by one. Spiral, he stayed strong mentally after that very difficult game 1. Showed up strong in game 2, but now we're back on one of the more played maps in this matchup here in Concealed Hill, on which Happy should be feeling very comfortable, and there's no shortcut to victory against Happy. We've covered that many times. He's just gonna have to play amazing here in order to win again.
And Spiral pretty unconventionally going very aggressive with the Keeper. Fast tech as well. 2 Moonwell tech, so this is going to be a lot faster than Happy's is going to be. He's going for Narrow Tower to be safe and backpack before the tech. That all slows down things by a little bit. Keeper, it's going to be hard for him in this early game to find the perfect balance now between harassing and creeping. Spiral knows that the DK with ghouls can creep super fast on this map, so he wants to stick around for harassment like he is here. But I wonder, when's he going to get his levels?
Yeah, it might not be a very creeping heavy game here. We'll see. Happy gets level 2, pick up the item. Cars the Wisp Archer getting surrounded. Really want to get out of there. There is no dust, so maybe he could have Shadow Mailed, but obviously DK could go back and buy that. And he's gonna re-entangle the ghoul. There's so many cards here. Happy's card management, always beautiful. He's gonna give up that one ghoul. I think he realized there was no way to save it. And look, he's already finding that opportunity to make his way across the map here.
Yeah, he could have saved that ghoul, actually. Or he could have denied it, but I think the coil cooldown was off. He gives it away, gives the Keeper 2, but he was willing to sacrifice that ghoul to buy time for the ghouls to run north, and he has the read that there's an expo there. Wow! This was not scouted, he just has the read. That is so sick. Sacrificing his ghoul on purpose to give the other boys the opportunity for the cancel, and that's of course the way bigger play.
Yeah, and if Spiral could have bought the staff, maybe he could have salvaged that by probably losing his expo but killing 2 or 3 ghouls. Now, the fact that Happy stole the staff is huge, because he's healing at the fountain and he can staff immediately on his ghouls and resume creeping here and there to try and get level 3. Skeleton trying to get a Wisp. Gonna be close, but should be able to make it out. Nope, he actually dies.
And look at this Keeper experience bar. It's kind of like map 1. He's still far away from 3. You usually want to have that as quickly as you can. He's still pretty far away from it. DK staffing towards the ghouls. No way. Is he going to run over there now for the creepjack? I guess that's not so incredibly hard to read, but yeah, the timing again is perfect. He could steal the last hit maybe and get a cancel, and Happy is back in full force here on map 3.
Let's see, there's the coil ready. I probably don't want to finish that. Yeah, Happy just shows back up. The Null Overseer is helping out Happy here, attacking one of the archers. That's gonna get coil and go down, and the expo is cancelled again. And he gets some ghouls at least. He gets one. That archer will go down. Another coil. Should have just made that tree close to his main, I think.
This has been such a weird series, dude. This was just a series of stomps.
Yeah.
First map goes to Happy, second goes to Spiral in that manner. And the third one also very likely seems to be going that direction for Happy. Once again, kind of like on map 1, Happy suffering in the lumber with how heavily he was using these ghouls early. So tier 3 will be delayed, but I would say well worth it.
Tangle over one against the DK, doesn't even care. Like, where are those archers? Give me those archers. Oh, he's gonna steal the Null Overseer? Oh my god. And he gets the item as well. Pennant of Energy.
Trying to block, trying to do something. The DK's too fast. Peace out, homie. He's gonna make it back home, or I guess first to the fountain. Is Spy gonna follow to the fountain to stop the healing? With an archer. Alright, that's a nice play. But it's, I don't know. It's a band-aid on top of a pile of poop. It doesn't do much.
How do you come up with this?
With my dirty mind, Todd, you know that.
Oh my god. Alright. Lich with the Pennant of Energy enters the game at 430 mana pull. Demon, you got some work ahead of you. And that expansion just not meant to happen.
As mentioned, Happy's tier 3 is somewhat delayed, but it still seems to be on par easily enough for this game. About 30% done now. Oh, if this tree falls, it is certainly game. No Red of Necromancy here. We do have Wisps against it. Happy's waiting for the coil, and then with the coil Nova, he can threaten this demon a bit more. It's always a sad day when the demon hunter doesn't have any bonus armor or HP items. Or levels! So this guy is looking somewhat underwhelming until now.
That demon's got nothing. Even the Glove of Haste is still on the Keeper right now. He hasn't transferred that over. And yeah, Happy from there. Usually the path to victory is very straightforward. I mean, if he wants to have some fun, he could actually expo, but I think he's doing so well in this game that this might even be like a very easy one-base push with a third hero, or even not. Just make a bunch of units, get 50 supply attack, and finish it.
Yeah, I feel like it's oftentimes a thing about player psychology / philosophy. Some people feel if they're far ahead, the safer play is to go for a push and end it. Some do feel it's better to take it late. I would say the safer thing would be to counter-expand, because there's no way the counter-expansion is going to get cancelled. But we'll see what he does. Playing against 80 supply Night Elf in the late game with hippos and bears can be pretty scary, especially for scrubs like me. But Happy is pretty good. He can manage those armies pretty well. And we'll be picking up his tier 3 upgrades here soon, as we see Black Citadel finishing. Frenzy Ghouls coming in right away, Destroyer in a moment, and the Orb. And Spiral needs to pray to the gods, to Elune, I believe that is for the Night Elves.
Is the Death Knight gonna get level 4 before the Keeper gets 3? Like, this is getting a little ridiculous here. I guess he might prioritize getting Lich 3, so probably not. I like that Spiral's adapting the center here. That's a lot of experience plus a potential very good item. He definitely needs to sell the Scroll of the Beast, completely useless. Given all things, gets a Claws plus 12.
That's also not too good. This Demon Hunter is gonna get nuked into oblivion. He's not gonna have much damage uptime. Really bad items for Spiral mostly here, to be honest. Happy with the third hero.
What can you do?
Tinker
I guess
or
you can sell
Naga?
it.
What's it gonna be?
If he thinks he needs gold, he can sell it. Actually, the small turtle camp at the top would give him 3 and 3. He's so close. 3 XP on the Keeper and 10 on the Demon to get that very important level 3.
So close, yet so far. Todd, because the push is coming. Does he have time to creep one more camp? Perhaps not. This shop very far forward. You kind of want to have that remaining standing for heal pots. Alright, he goes for double heal pots right away. That's something. But the shop is gone.
It's still not free on either hero, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, not having mana burn level 2 here is the biggest of deals. And no stuff for preservation. He had time to buy potions, but no stuff for preservation. He transfers Town Portal. Spire will be able to get out. He tries to kill some ghouls beforehand.
Alright.
He's making the shop in the main.
He got the ghoul, he got the double level 3, but he's got no healing. Demon Hunter, 1 heal pot left, I guess. Sipping up from the wells, around 200 HP. And without the demon running in and mana burning, these Dryads don't have a chance, I believe. Well, Nova, oh, heal potion one more time. No staff, as you said, getting blocked by the Dryads. He goes down, and that is the beginning of the end. Or the end of the end? It seems like this one's been ending for a while. DK level 4. Now we have the level 2 aura on top of everything else. And Happy's army might be smaller slightly, but much, much stronger.
That poor Demon Hunter. He was like, I'm gonna go in and mother, I'm going home. And then he died.
Going home in a casket.
Not much to do here for Spiral. He's trying to force mistakes out of Happy. Happy is, by the way, I think one of the best at pushing like this. Like, he puts, I think, the Fiends and Heroes at the back in on hold position. And everybody that tries to buy time, he's not gonna just click on your units. He'll just wait until you're in range, then properly attack you, then turn around and attack the tree, and he makes it impossible for you to buy any kind of time.
Mana Shield. That's not a misclick. That's something Happy's been doing quite a bit recently, which is cool at the very least.
Hey, took that from a Kevin stream, right?
From who?
Kevin stream.
Did he?
Yeah. Kevin did this against Ante.
I do not remember, but I do believe you. Kevin, of course, a big inspiration for us all.
And that's the truth. Yeah, that expo not gonna live much longer. Demon Hunter, 60% remade. No sign of tier 3, behind in supply. Spiral did what he could, but 2 games that Happy won, he was really running the show. But he won a map, though, to be honest. That's in itself a big victory.
Unfortunately, doesn't give him any sort of points or whatever in a head-to-head, as this is double a limb. GG is called. Spiral will lose this one, but